Hi, Rosalinda Vieira, City Council, and as we start approaching the annual budget process, I think there's some things that maybe we just need to talk about, just because I know that it's something that residents care about, not just council members. It's something that affects everyone in the city. For me, this is very personal. I grew up with IRS agents as my uncles and aunts, and my first job was actually working in the accounts payable department, 1989. So I've been in the accounting department and working with financials for a long time. I've seen firsthand the checks and balances that are required in government when it comes to trying to make sure everything's accurate. And then in my MBA program, we also did a lot of accounting coursework as well. I was even looking at following the pathway of my aunts and uncles and going into the CPA field, which I did end up changing my mind. And I think I like where I'm at now when it comes to working in counseling and social work. But the fun fact is, it's a family thing. Accounting and numbers is something that we're really strong in. In fact, my daughter has her accounting degree from CSU Stan, as well as several of my cousins are still in the accounting field and are actually personal accountants. So it's something that we're part of in my family. And it's something that I'm very familiar with, and I've been involved in the field for many years. So now let's take a quick look at how things are handled here at the City of Ceres when it comes to our financials. Now, large transactions all have to be approved through the City Council, so there'll actually be a resolution that has to be approved for those expenses. Now, the smaller transactions, the day-to-day stuff, now that's going to be done obviously a little differently because those don't have to be approved. So with those things are generally, and we did the same thing. We do that at the school. I work at a college, so the same thing happened when I was overseeing the budget, because I did work in one of the largest departments that had one of the largest budgets, and we actually would have to go through and make sure that it's done to the correct accounting line, make sure we had documentation, and all of that's done electronically now. It's not like it used to be. That stuff can actually be done audited. The computer can actually see if the numbers look differently, kind of if you do direct deposit, or if you actually deposit a check on your mobile app, you can scan it and it actually tells you the amount of the check that you're scanning into your mobile app. So a lot of that still has not changed when it comes to the actual city. So because everything's approved through our budget. So that kind of gives you an outline of about what they can spend. They can't go really over that without an approval from the council. So that will actually have to be done. Now, grants do have very strict restrictions to it, and there's some other restricted funding that can and can't be used for certain things. So those ones have a little more restrictions, and those are really specific about what they can and can't be used for. So now what happens when a bill or an invoice is received? So say it's routed to the appropriate department. So if it's police, public works, parks, engineering, it's routed to that department, and then it's entered into the accounting system and it's scanned by that person. So whoever is responsible for it, they're going to enter it into the system and then forward it to their supervisor. So the supervisor or the director, I know a lot of them are referred to as directors, will actually go over, make sure the documentation is correct, make sure the account number is correct. From there, the supervisor reviews it, authorizes it, confirm it's accurate, and then forwards it to the accounting department. So now it goes through, that's two hands already, right? So now that documentation is going to go to a third hand. Those invoices are sent to accounting. And this is similar to what we did back when I used to work for the school district. So it hasn't changed significantly, or even what I do now at the college when I started working and overseeing the budget for the department that I was in. Same process. So we would then send it to accounting. Accounting does them in batches, and then those batches are then sent over, usually verified before the checks are ran. Make sure everything balances to the penny. It had to balance to the penny. Once it's balanced, it's then sent off, and then the checks are ran. The checks require 2 signatures. So those 2 signers had to make sure that it all matches to the penny. So when the checks were ran, it usually gave you at the end how much the checks were worth. If you do online bill pay like I do, the bill pay again will tell me exactly what I'm spending when I do the bill pay. Now, currently, each month the bank statements do come in and they're reconciled to the city transactions. So each transaction has amount. They know when checks aren't cleared, when checks are cleared, and all of that should reconcile directly to the bank sheets. So once that's done, annually we do have an independent auditor. It's an outside auditor that has nothing to do with the City of Ceres. they come in and audit the city's financials. And we did the same thing at the school district, both at the college and the high school level. So I just want to let you know this is not unusual. It's something that happens. A lot of nonprofits have to do it as well to maintain their grant funding. So the auditor comes in. They used to pull our batches. Again, back in '89, it used to be done by paper. Now most of it's automated. Now they will randomly go through and they take a certain percentage. They just randomly pick a bunch. Verify that they've been authorized, verify we have the signatures, and verify that the invoices match the accounts and what was really purchased. It was very random. We have no idea what they were pulling, and so I think that is very key to the transaction because, again, it makes it very random when it comes to accounting. So instead, it allows a professional review that's designated to ensure accountability and transparency because they're not related to the city. They have nothing to do with the city. They're a third-party contractor. They get paid no matter what. The only recommendation we've had is we need to do it a little more timely as we approach the new budget and understanding exactly what was spent, what wasn't spent, what we can expect, and how to move forward and hopefully positively. So I appreciate you listening and learning, and I look forward to hopefully having a better year. Remember to shop local, spend local so that way we can continue to stay successful locally. Thank you.